Hello, my name is Adam. This is the second in a series of 7 videos going deeper into the solutions for why I can't speak in English. The problem number 2, scenario number 2, is jumping, not dancing. And the type of practice exercises we could do are linking exercises or saying no thing exercises. But let's go a bit deeper into this problem. So, jumping, not dancing. Here the student might begin speaking well or often say 3 or 4 words, and then it starts to get very slow with lots of pauses, ums and ahs. What is probably happening here is one of 2 possible problems, and those 2 problems are also related. The second one is biting a watermelon, and we'll have a look in solution number 3. But the first possible problem is that the student doesn't have a lot of small speaking and linking structures in their vocabulary. What are small speaking and linking structures? Well, I guess I'm using that phrase to describe the type of language that we hang information on. So it's very similar to the language recommended in activity type, scenario type 1, which is fishing with no hook. In fact, the solutions at the end are basically very, very similar to the previous video, so I won't talk too much about them. It's about getting that next idea, okay? And here, in this particular thing, the student does begin, but they don't have the type of conversational English to join their ideas together. So, for example, the phrase for example, or phrases like, it's also true that, and then she said, well, it made me think that. This means that the student has some ideas, but can't move freely between them. They end up speaking in utterances. We say it's called jumping and not dancing. So they're going like this. It's not smooth, okay? It can be quite difficult to listen to, and is certainly not satisfactory for the speaker because they're basically unable to move smoothly between their points, and they probably feel that they're not communicating what they're feeling properly. So what's the solution here? Well, the language needed here is mostly not new language, okay? To the student, they do not need to make, they need to make it more active or accessible is the problem. So the type of language you'll need to include here really is language that says very little, okay? So you're not looking to give information here. You're looking just to link ideas. So this language actually has the purpose to hold the listener's hand. I call it driving the bus, telling people where you're about to go. While you are talking to explain, so you're helping them be ready for what you're about to tell them. So you're explaining where you're going, tell them why you said something, why you're including examples, why this might be different than what you said before. So it's linking the ideas, it's linking the times of stories or the phases or the reasons for things happening, or it links even people in the story or motives and purposes of what you're talking about. Now, this language is fantastic. These phrases are reusable in all types of situations. So it's a fantastic thing to study and to practice. And then in fact, when you do listen to someone talking, it's possible that their actual ideas are only about 50% of the language they use. And the rest is this structural linking language. And we come back to this as well in scenario 3, biting the watermelon. The difference in this particular problem is that this is not the main structural language. So in biting the watermelon, scenario 3, it's about a bigger picture structure. This is a real linking language. So if you feel that you can have ideas, you do know how to approach the ideas, but you just feel that you're not getting from one idea to the next really smoothly, this is what the type of language you should be looking for. And in fact, when you start learning English, that first linking words you learn are usually things like and, but, because, and they're great. And they're the most common ones. That's fantastic. But as you progress further, you really need to increase the number and the quality and the difference in meaning of these linking language. Keep learning them. You probably feel actually quite frustrated that you're using these like but, because, and all the time. Okay, but there are more phrases. Okay, so again, like in scenario 1, the problem for many students might be 2 areas. One is, where do I find these phrases? And then secondly, how can I learn them to make them more active? Okay, so how to find them? Well, I think there are a few options here. For the classic single words and expressions, however, nonetheless, you probably find lists of these linking words. You probably ask a program like ChatGPT, or you just find articles. Oh, fantastic. And you can use them, get them in sentences as well. And then the second option here is like, look for expressions in text that you meet. So as you study your English, try to collect these. Notice these nice expressions. Understand that there's a value, even if they're not saying anything, the information's there. Notice how the writer or the speaker has moved from one point to the other, okay? Phrases like, and I did that because this meant that. One of the reasons for this was. The third area I haven't got here in the blog post because it's really using now ChatGPT. It's a great thing. Is collect the ones that you like to use. Be on thinking about your English sometimes, and then realize, well, how do I say that? How do I say that in English? Or if you're translating something from your native language to English, realize, I say that all that time. That expression, that way to link two ideas, I use it all the time. Collect those ideas as well. And then how you could learn these expressions. Well, basically, I put down one, apart from practicing it, this is a bit different. Actually learn them. Consider using flashcards, memorizing through flashcards. There are a number of websites available. Find ones that you like, okay? And also play with the cards a little bit. One particular way I like for linking would be the following. To have the sentence in English, begin the sentence in English, have a brackets where you have in your native language the word. So let's say, like l'altro canto, and then so you're saying on the other hand in Italian, and then you continue the phrase in English. So what you're doing is in the flashcard, you're just seeing the context in English, great, and then you're only translating the linking word between the two ideas, really practicing that language. And yeah, and then after that, obviously try to use it in class. In class, I haven't written down here, but what I would probably do in class is, if possible, write a list down, if you're either in class on your own or in a group, write the few linking words down and see if you can use them in the class. Yeah. If your teacher knows that you're trying to do it, then pay attention to know if it's good or good or incorrect usage. Fantastic. And then try to use them as you're speaking. Okay. Or if you're doing homework as well, try to use them in written work as well. Great. So I've got this down here, teaching yourself surgery. I forgot this is actually going to be the step number 3, not biting watermelon, which is coming after that. Apologize. Okay.